Hey guys, today we're doing IXL. Let's get started.
Disney Pixar Monsters University. When you hear this sound, turn the page. Ready?
Shanice watched Thomas tapping his broom on the floor as they waited for the contest to start. "Are you okay?" she asked him. He shook his head. "What if my spell doesn't work?" Shanice put her arm around her friend. "You'll do fine. It's just a silly spell contest anyway." Shanice was trying to help Thomas stop worrying, but the truth was that she was worried too. The Witchland Spell Contest meant just as much to her as it did to Thomas. All the young witches felt the same way. "I've told you all about my spell," Thomas said, "but you haven't told me about yours." Shanice smiled. "I haven't told anyone about it. But since you're my best friend, I'll give you a hint. It's kind of different."
Sully bellowed down at Mike. Suddenly, Sully knocked over Dean Hardscrabble's prized scream can. It released an ear-piercing scream as it
How
flew
does
across the
Shanice
room.
really feel about the spell contest? Look for clues in the story. She feels that the contest is unfair.
After she gave Mike
She
and Sully
cares
the
a lot
final
about the
exams,
contest.
Hardscrabble kicked both of them out of the scaring program. Being a scarer was Mike's big dream, and he was not going to give up. I've got it! All I have to do is win the scare games! He proved that he deserved to be in the program.
The judges sat down at their table. It was time for the contest to begin. Shanice and Thomas watched the other witches do their spells.
So Sully volunteered.
One witch was from
Sully was
Shanice's
the last
baseball
monster
team.
Mike wanted to
She made silver rings appear on the judges' fingers. Another witch made pink feathers float down to the judges'
Mike and
table.
Sully had
A
very
third
different
made
ideas
songbirds
about how to
appear,
win the
one
scare
for
games.
each judge. "These witches are so good," Thomas whispered.
They
"Yeah,"
couldn't work
Shanice
together
said.
as a team.
"They're all doing
Those what
gift
happened
spells."
soon got
"Of
discouraged.
course," Thomas
Mike
said.
needed a
"The
new
best
plan.
gift always wins the contest." Shanice moved around in her seat.
We're
"Maybe
going
the
on a
gift
little
doesn't
field
need
trip,
to be a
he
thing,"
announced.
she told herself.
That night,
"Maybe the judges would like
OPs
something
sneaked onto
else."
the roof of Monsters Incorporated. A scare floor was buzzing with activity. Mike asked his team
What kind
to
of
look at what
spells are
the
all
scares
the
had in
witches
common.
doing?
They all agreed that it was
"Gift spells."
nothing. The best scarers use their differences to their advantage, said Mike.
Next, it
The
was
OPs
Thomas's
were
turn.
inspired, and as the
"Good luck,"
competition
Shanice
continued,
said.
the team began to
On
work well
stage,
together.
Thomas
This new
faced the
teamwork
judges.
got Uzma
He
Kappa
brushed
into
his
the final
broom
event
across
of
the
scare
floor and
games.
whispered his spell. Small pink cakes appeared in front of the judges. "How pretty," one judge said. "Almost too pretty to eat," the other judge said. But still, he licked the top. Thomas bowed while everyone else clapped or waved their brooms. The second judge didn't clap. He was too busy eating his cake. Shanice smiled and waved her broom at her friend. But when Thomas looked away, Shanice slid down in her chair. What had she been thinking? Why had she wanted to try something different? Thomas was right. Gift spells were what made the judges happy.
Uzma Kappa won the scare games. Later,
After seeing Thomas's spell, how does Shanice feel about the spell she is planning? Look for clues in the story. She is worried that she may have picked the wrong spell.
Determined to prove himself,
Shanice's turn came last. Her heart pounded, but she forced herself to smile.
he
Then
through the
she
door
raised her
and
broom,
into
whispering her
a
spell.
cabin full of kids.
The judges looked
Mike
around the
roared.
empty table.
"Roar!"
Shanice pointed
But
her
they
broom
weren't
to the
frightened by him
sky.
at all.
Slowly, the
The
judges
only
looked up.
thing he could do
A giant
was
rainbow spread above them, and a wonderful smell filled the air. The first judge pressed her hands to her chest.
Sully slipped
What
through
a
the door
clever
and went
spell!
after Mike.
This
He
beautiful
found
rainbow
Mike
is,
sitting by the
well,
water,
a
looking
gift.
defeated.
A gift for everyone in the room, the other judge said.
You're not the only failure,
Everyone was quiet, staring at the rainbow. Then Thomas banged his broom on the floor, and the other witches did too. They all cheered for Shanice and the colorful rainbow sparkling above them.
But the door had been deactivated. Mike and Sully were trapped. Using their
Look
combined
at the
skills,
picture.
Mike
Why does a
strategizing
wonderful
and Sully
smell
staring,
fill the
the two
air?
pulled off their
Shanice
escape.
has made a rainbow filled with flowers.
Together, the monsters executed a monumental. Disney Pixar Monsters University. When you hear this sound, turn the page. Ready? Mike Wazowski and James Sully
What's the big news? Barry asked, but Uncle Wizard didn't seem to hear. He snapped his fingers, making a cup of hot chocolate appear. Barry will tell us when he's ready, Aubrey said. She shook her wand, and tiny pink butterflies flew out. Duke waved his wand and turned them into flies.
A monster like you.
Barry's cousins were always showing off silly magic. Barry wanted to learn the hard stuff, like how to make a storm.
On the day of the scare
Uncle
finals,
Wizard
Mike
cleared
and
his
Sully
throat.
got into a scare.
Soon I will turn
When Mike unleashed his
250.
most frightening
I am
roar.
no longer young. It's time I trained one of you to be a real wizard. Aubrey and
Sully
Duke
bellowed down at
hooted.
Mike.
Barry
Suddenly,
jumped up and
Sully
down,
knocked over Dean
but then she
Hardscrabble's
looked at her
prized screen
cousins.
can.
Uncle Wizard will probably choose one
It
of them,
released an
she thought.
ear-piercing scream as it flew across the room.
Look at the picture. Why does Barry probably think that Uncle Wizard will choose one of her cousins? Because they give Uncle Wizard a magic ring.
Hardscrabble
Because they
kicked
wear
both
the
of them
same
out of the
robes as
scary
Uncle
program.
Wizard. Because they are both older than Barry. How will you choose who becomes a wizard? Barry asked. With a puzzle, Uncle Wizard winked. I've hidden a special golden key. Whoever finds it will become the next wizard. Cool, Barry whispered. Here's the puzzle. The key is in a place where there are rivers and roads, but no people, Uncle Wizard said. Remember, wizards use their magic and their minds. Aubrey and Duke began to shout ideas. I've got it, yelled Aubrey. The key must be in an old, empty town. Of course. But where? Duke asked. I don't know, but I'm going to find it first. Aubrey waved her wand and disappeared. Duke clapped his hands, making a cloud of smoke that smelled like blueberries. When the smoke cleared, Duke was gone.
That night, the OKs sneaked onto the roof of Monsters Incorporated. A scare floor was buzzing with activity.
Where has
Mike
Uncle
asked
Wizard
his team
hidden
to
the key?
look at what the scares had
In a
common.
place with rivers and
They
roads,
all
but no
agreed
people.
that it was nothing. The best scarers use their differences to their advantage, said Mike.
While Uncle Wizard sipped his hot chocolate,
And as the
Barry
competition
stood
continued,
quietly
the
by
team
the
began to
fire.
work well together.
She had heard
This new
stories
teamwork
about
got
empty
Osa
towns,
Kappa into
but
the
she
final
didn't know
event
of
the
any.
scare games.
Aubrey and Duke are searching for an empty town, Barry thought.
Hardscrabble reminded Sully
Should I
that
search
Mike
for one
was
too?
just not scary.
Even if I
Sully
find
told
one,
Hardscrabble she
how
was
will I
wrong,
know where
but
to
he
look for the
was
key?
worried.
Barry said a floating spell, and she began drifting slowly through Uncle Wizard's house. I always think better when I'm floating, she said to herself.
Each competitor
Soon
had to
Barry
perform
found
a
herself
scare.
in Uncle
Mike
Wizard's
was
map
the
room.
last to go.
She looked
He
around.
crept slowly
There were
and stealthily
maps
to
hanging
the
on the
bed
wall
robot
and
child
rolled up
and
on
roared
shelves.
his scariest
More
roar.
maps were stacked on Uncle's desk.
Roar!
Barry
The
kept
scream
asking
hit
herself,
building.
where are there rivers and roads, but no people?
Uzma Kappa won the scare games.
What can you guess about Barry?
Later,
Look for
after
clues in
everyone
the
had
story.
left,
She
Mike
usually
discovered
thinks
that
things
Sully had
through
rigged the
carefully.
simulator so Mike would get the highest score. You don't think I'm scary?
Barry ran her finger along a river on one of the maps. It gave her an idea. She started looking under the maps on the desk and behind the maps on the walls. She took a rolled up map off a shelf. Something hard slid out. It was the key. Good job, Uncle Wizard said. He was standing in the doorway, smiling. I solved the puzzle, Barry said. I was looking at the maps. They show rivers and roads, but they don't show people. So a map matched all the clues. As our family's next wizard, you will make everyone proud, Uncle Wizard said. Wow, thank you, Barry said. Uncle Wizard grinned. Ready to start your training? How does Barry know to look for the key in a map? Uncle Wizard loves maps. The maps are magical. A map matches all the clues.
The two pulled off their escape. Disney Pixar Monsters University. When you hear this
Throw a
sound,
dragon.
turn the page. Ready?
Marlin plopped down onto a bench in the garden. You seem grumpy. What's wrong? Grandma asked. She was weeding her balloon plants. The colorful bunches of balloon blossoms bounced in front of her face. The dragon parade. It's in 2 days. Mia and Kent and, well, all my friends are going with their dragon. Grandma picked a teacup flower. Tea? It might help you feel better. She handed Marlin the flower cup of steaming tea. Only one thing will make me feel better, Marlin whispered. I know, but dragons cost a lot, Marlin sighed. Right. And it's not like you can just grow one. Marlin looked around his grandmother's garden. Wait, he said slowly. Maybe I can. May I look through your seed box? What is probably true about Grandma's seeds? Look for clues in the story. They are seeds that always grow into balloon plants. They are magic seeds that grow into unusual...
Being a scarer was Mike's big dream, and he was not going to give up. I've got it! All I have to do is win the scare games! He proved that he deserved to be in the program. Mike teamed up with a fraternity called Uzma Kappa, or OK. But
Marlin followed followed Grandma into the shed, where she handed him her seed box.
Sully was the
Let's
last
see.
monster Mike wanted.
Marlin flipped through the packets. What's the right seed mix to grow a dragon? Grandma rubbed her
Mike
chin.
and Sully had
That's a pretty
different
wild
ideas about
idea.
how to win the scare
But
games.
remember when you mixed peanut seeds and jelly seeds? Growing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is one thing, Grandma said. Growing a dragon is something else. Marlin held up 3 packets. Fire seeds, lizard seeds, and wing seeds. I'll plant them together. Grandma smiled. It's worth a shot. Marlin took a seed out of each packet. He dug a little hole, put in the seeds, and covered them with dirt. Then he poured some water on them. Now he just had to wait and hope.
The differences to their advantage, said Mike. The OKs were inspired, and as the competition continued,
Why does Marlin pick fire seeds, lizard seeds, and wing seeds? Look for clues in the story. He reads on the packets that these seeds will grow a dragon. He wants seeds that remind him of what a dragon is like.
Sully told Hardscrabble she was wrong, but he was worried.
The next morning, Marlin couldn't believe what he saw in the garden. There was a plant with a red stem and
The
green
final
leaves.
event took place
A
in
pink
scare
flower bud
simulator.
grew
Each
on the stem.
competitor had to perform a
Marlin
scare.
touched the bud
Mike
carefully
was the
with one
last to
finger.
go.
It
He
was
crept
warm and
slowly,
smelled
stealthily
slightly
to
of
the bed
smoke.
with the robot child.
I did it!
Roared
Marlin
his
jumped in the
scariest
air.
roar.
Grandma came outside. Well,
The scream
something is growing,
filled
that's for
immediately to the
sure.
top.
Marlin ran his finger along the stem.
Uzma Kappa
It felt
won
like
the
petting a
scare
lizard.
games.
It's a dragon plant, he cheered.
Later, after
Grandma
everyone had
sighed.
left,
It could
Mike
be.
discovered that
You won't
Sully
know
had
for
rigged
certain
the
until
simulator
that
so
bud
Mike would
opens.
get the highest score.
Remember what happened
You
with my
don't think I'm
scrambled egg
scary.
plant? True. Grandma's scrambled egg seeds just grew rotten eggs. But
Determined
this
to
time
prove
felt
himself,
different.
Mike broke into
Marlin
the
crossed
door
his
tech
fingers.
and activated
He
the
would
door.
have to wait and see.
He crept through the door and into
What important thing does Marlin notice about the bud of his plant? It smells like
But
smoke.
they weren't frightened by him at all. The only thing he could do was
Marlin woke at sunrise and raced into the garden. The bud had opened into a large red flower. Marlin heard a
Sully
tiny
slipped through
roar.
the door and went
Sitting
after
on the
Mike.
flower
He
was a
found
brightly
Mike sitting
colored
by the
dragon.
water, looking defeated.
Marlin froze.
"You're right.
Then he
They
slowly
weren't
reached
scared,"
out his
he
hand.
said to Sully.
The dragon trembled a little, watching him closely. But then she hopped onto his hand.
Mike and
My
Sully couldn't stay
dragon,
by the lake
Marlin
as the
whispered,
camp rangers
rubbing
were
the
after them.
dragon's chin.
Eventually,
She
they made it
grinned
back to
and
the
let
cabin
out a
and
puff
the
of
door
smoke.
led back to MU.
She was nothing like Mia's and Kent's huge, fancy dragons. But Marlin
Using
was
their
glad to
combined
have a
skills,
different kind of
Mike
dragon.
strategizing and Sully scaring.
You're
The
perfect,
two pulled
Marlin
off their
told his
escape.
dragon. Let's get to the parade. The dragon roared happily.
Together, the monsters executed a monumental scare.
Look at the picture. In what way is Marlin's dragon different from Mia's and Kent's? Marlin's dragon has no wings.
They generated enough
Marlin's
energy
dragon
to not
can
only
fit
power
inside
up the
his
door
pocket.
back to MU, but to fill every scream can in the DoorTech lab. Mike and Sully had been expelled. They didn't know what they would do Kozlowski and Sullivan were clearly destined for greatness.
That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.